The Liberty Flames take on Northern Iowa, 3 o'clock Eastern start time. The UNI Panthers are -2 with the total at 125.5. And if you want to see which one of these free YouTube picks on my channel that I'm actually betting on personally, there's only one way to do that, and that's to sign up for a membership on my website at brockpage.com. We're also hitting at 62% in our last 30 college basketball tier package picks on that very same website. And the good news is we have another college basketball tier package pick going off here this evening. And if you want to access our college basketball tier package pick for today, the link for that pick is in the description section below. And despite their 2-game winning streak, the Northern Iowa Panthers have had a tough time covering the point spread this season. As a matter of fact, UNI failed to cover in 3 out of their last 4 ball games, as well as going just 3-6 against the spread in their last 9. Now, the Panthers are having a tough time offensively at home as they're shooting just 29% from 3 land on their home court. They're also one of the worst offensive rebounding teams in the country at home as well. They're taking on a Liberty team who won 6 out of their last 7 ball games themselves, and they currently rank in the top 10 in the entire country in defensive field goal percentage. The Flames are limiting their opponents to just 36% shooting from the field, and they're also holding their opponents to a measly 24 first-half points a game. As a matter of fact, not only is this one of the better defensive rebounding teams in the country, but they're also in the top 10 in the nation in fewest points allowed per contest. Now, scoring-wise, Darius McGee is averaging nearly 20 points per contest, along with 3 rebounds and a couple assists. Meanwhile, Keegan McDowell is averaging double-digit points a game himself, along with 3 boards. Now, the sharpshooting senior is also drilling 92% of his foul shots, and he's also connecting on 46% of his three-pointers. Now, total-wise, when it comes to the number in this one, 4 out of Liberty's last 6 contests away from home fell under the posted number. Meanwhile, Northern Iowa, they are currently 4-1 of the under in their last 5 at home. I'm going to lean toward the Liberty Flames +2 and the under 125.5. Next matchup, it is going to be Arizona versus Tennessee, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Tennessee is -2 with the total at 149.5. And speaking of the total in this one, Tennessee is 4-3 to the over at the TOWSON Bowling Arena. They also saw overs against the likes of South Carolina Upstate, Tennessee Tech, and North Carolina. Meanwhile, Arizona on the other side of things, they saw 5 out of their last 6 ball games get over the posted number themselves. And those overs were against the likes of Illinois, Wyoming, and Oregon State. As a matter of fact, the Wildcats saw 3 out of their last 4 contests away from their home court get over the line. And they're also seeing 73% of their ball games for the entire season get over the posted total as well. Now, when it comes to picking a winner in this one, this game's actually being featured as my college basketball tier package pick on brockpage.com, where once again, guys, we are hitting at 62% in our last 30 premium picks in that very category. So if you want to see whether I'm riding with Arizona plus the points on the road, or if I like the Vols in the friendly confines of home, laying the 2, there's only one way to find out, and that's to sign up for my college basketball tier package pick on brockpage.com. The link for that pick is in the description section below. But as far as making a free pick goes for this game, I'm going to lean toward the over 149.5. Next matchup, it is going to be Boise State versus Washington State, 8 o'clock Eastern start time. Washington State's -4.5, totals 130. WAZZU is averaging 78 points a game, and they're shooting nearly 77% from the foul line. The Cougars have also done a really nice job of rebounding the basketball offensively, and they're also scoring late in games. They're doing a great job as they're averaging 41 second-half points per contest. Michael Flowers is averaging over 14 points a night along with 4 rebounds and a couple assists. Flowers has also been really good from three land, as the guard is currently drilling 41% of his three-pointers. Now, teammate Noah Williams, he's scoring over a dozen points a game himself, along with 4 rebounds and a couple assists as well. Noah's got himself 14 total steals this year defensively. And speaking of defense, the Cougars are allowing only 26 first-half points per contest this season, and they're also limiting their competition to just 39% shooting from the field. Now, they're taking on a Boise squad who's won a bunch of games recently, but they were facing fairly lackluster competition. Now, Boise struggled a bit with the stronger schools, as they've suffered losses to the likes of St. Bonaventure and the St. Louis Billikens. Now, the Broncos are also averaging just 66 points per contest away from home, and once again, they haven't really faced that tough of competition. Now, total-wise, 4 out of Boise's last 5 outings away from their home court did fall short of the number. The Broncos also saw 8 out of their last 11 contests at any location fall under the total as well. Meanwhile, Washington State, on the other side, they saw their last 3 straight fall under the posted total themselves. They also went 6-1 to the under in their last 7. I'm going to lean toward Washington State minus 4.5, under 130. Next matchup, Clemson versus Virginia, 8 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Virginia is minus 3.5 with the total at 119. But despite being favored at home in this one, Virginia has been pretty bad against the number here recently, as they failed to cover in 4 out of their last 5 ball games. And equally as bad, the Cavaliers also failed to cover the point spread in 5 out of their last 7 home games at the John Paul Jones Arena. Now, the offensive performance of Virginia is pretty poor. It's been poor over the past couple of seasons. But as far as this year is concerned, they're averaging only 29 first-half points a game. The Cavaliers are also one of the worst offensive rebounding teams in the country. They're taking on a Clemson squad who's on a 3-game winning streak themselves, and they garnered themselves victories over the likes of South Carolina and Drake during that short span. Now, the Tigers have also been pretty good against the point spread here recently as well, as they went 3-0 against the number in their last 3 straight, along with going 70% against the spread in their last 10. And of course, the clear-cut strength of this team is their ability to shoot the 3 ball. Clemson's currently in the top 5 in the country in offensive 3-point percentage, as they're drilling nearly 42% of their 3-pointers overall for the season as a team. Now, David Collins is making nearly 48% of his 3 balls himself, along with over 11.5 points a game. Meanwhile, his teammate PJ Hall, he's the team's leading points getter, as he's averaging over 14.5 points a night, along with 6 rebounds. Now, the Clemson Tigers are currently in the top 20 in the country in offensive field goal percentage when traveling. A lot of things going right for the Tigers. When it comes to the total in this one, Clemson did see contests with South Carolina, West Virginia, and Temple fall under the posted number. Meanwhile, the Cavaliers went 6-3 to the under in their last 9 themselves. I'm going to lean toward Clemson plus 3.5, under 119. Next ball game, Virginia Tech versus Duke, 9 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Duke's minus 9 with the total at 138.5. Now, the Blue Devils have had little problem scoring with the basketball this season, as they're currently in the top 5 in the country in offensive points per contest. And as a matter of fact, the Blue Devils are scoring over 86 points a game, and they're currently making nearly 50% of their field goals when shooting. Wendell Moore Jr. is scoring 16 points per contest, along with 5 rebounds and 5 assists. Meanwhile, Paolo Banchero is averaging 16.5 points a game himself, along with 7 boards and a couple assists as well. Duke's been literally unbeatable at Cameron Indoor, as they won all 8 of their home games this season. And equally as impressive to that, Duke went 7-1 against the spread in those 8 home victories, depending on where you shopped at. Now, they're taking on a Hokie team who failed to cover in 4 out of their last 7 themselves. And as a matter of fact, those failures to cover were outright losses against the likes of Dayton, Wake Forest, Xavier, and Memphis. And as good as the Hokies have been defensively this season, They have certainly struggled on the offensive end of the court, as they're averaging only 65 points a game when traveling. Now, the Hokies have also done a pretty bad job of rebounding the basketball offensively as well, really struggling in that particular category. And when it comes to the total in this one, 5 out of Virginia Tech's last 6 contests away from their home court fell under the posted number. The Hokies also went 67% to the under in their last dozen ball games at any location as well. Meanwhile, Duke on the other side saw games with Elon, Ohio State, and Army fall under the posted total recently themselves. I'm going to lean toward Duke -9, under 138.5. And with that, guys, now we're going to jump into our quick pick recap, powered to you by my website at brockpage.com, where we're currently hitting at 62% in our last 30 college basketball tier package picks. I like Liberty +2, under 125.5. I'm also leaning toward the over 149.5 in the Arizona-Tennessee game. Give me Washington State -4.5, under 130. Clemson +3.5, under 119. Duke -9, under 138.5. And as far as all the other games go across the country, I like Hartford +4.5, over 141. Campbell -4.5, under 126. I'm also leaning toward this next team, and that team is Notre Dame, -18.5, over 140. I like Towson, +1.5, under 131. William & Mary, +15, under 126. Texas Longhorns, -30.5, under 131. Vermont, -7, over 136. Temple, -24, under 134.5. I'm also leaning toward Texas Tech, -19, over 143. Stony Brook, +19, over 143.5. South Carolina, -12, under 139. St. Pete's, -8.5, under 134. Wofford, -3, over 134.5. Richmond, -19, over 149 and a hook. I'm also leaning toward UC Santa Barbara, -13.5, under 131. Give me Denver, -2.5, under 139. I also like Minnesota, -16.5, over 130. UC Davis, -9.5, over 147. San Francisco Dons, -10.5, over 123. Western Carolina, +10, over 144 and a hook. Wyoming, +1.5, under 139. Drake, -24, under 133. Murray State, +13, over 147. NC Central, +7, under 137.5. I like the Cal Golden Bears, -9, under 125. Troy, +7, over 135. Give me Kentucky, -12, over 141.5. Youngstown State, +16, under 132. Bethune-Cookman, +12, under 126.5. Old Dominion, -3, over 141. Georgia Bulldogs, -3.5, over 141. Canisius, +5, over 144.5. I'm also leaning toward this next team, and they are called Monmouth, -5, over 149.5. Middle Tennessee State, +9, under 138 and a hook. UCF, Central Florida, the Knights, -17, over 134.5. Northern Kentucky, +17, under 132 and a hook. Wichita State, -16, over 140. Robert Morris, +7, over 148.5. UMBC, -2, under 139. Nebraska, -13, over 147 and a hook. Mississippi Valley State, +38, over 151.5. Oklahoma, -26, under 131. South Dakota, -5, under 127.5. Lipscomb, +28, over 144. Longwood, +7, over 136.5. North Dakota, +18, under 134. I also like Oral Roberts, +9, over 164.5. Houston Cougars minus 8.5 under 128. Western Illinois minus 12. Is that minus 12, Western Illinois? I don't know. I think it's minus 12, but it could be plus 12. But anyway, Western Illinois against the number under 147.5. Give me Bradley minus 1.5 under 134. Southern Utah minus 12.5 over 156. Missouri plus 14 under 139. UC San Diego plus 16 under 128. USF South Florida Bulls plus 15 under 128.5. St. Mary's minus 6 over 127. And with my next and final free pick for the video, I like San Diego plus 9 over 130. And with that, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on brockpage.com. If you guys do end up getting a membership here today on my website, just keep in mind you're going to get billed the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. So if you do end up getting a membership here today on brockpage.com, you're going to get access to that content all the way through the end of December. And if you guys really want to get access to every single pick that I give out on that website, you're going to want to sign up for my board member package, where board members get access to every single pick that I give out on that website all the way through the end of December. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, guys, happy Wednesday to you. Happy hump day to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at brockpage.com.